Initially we started running it from the store, using our own staff to run the classes. We've got quite a few experienced people in wood turning. But then Les came along, took quite an interest in it, and he started doing quite a few demonstrations for us. And then about a year later, I think Malcolm came along as well. And those two pretty much run sessions now. They plan out the demonstrations, we provide the space, the tools, etc. and it works very well. I support them in terms of equipment. They do a lot of the preparation work outside of the session, at home on their own lathes. So I support them with promoting the events through our website, on the social media groups, etc. And yeah, it's been extremely popular. Trying to do quarterly competitions for the group. We set out a project, see at the end of it they won. It was gift vouchers this time round, but we look at varying prizes, maybe tools or gift vouchers, etc. A basic package with a chuck and some tools, you're probably looking around about £500. So yeah, just turn up, there's no membership or anything like that. It's all free for everybody to come along, and everybody's welcome.
How did you get into doing the turning to start with here?
There was Axminsters were doing Tuesday turning sessions, and the guy from Axminster who worked here, he wasn't getting any lunch breaks, and I said to the manager, give him a break and he can have his lunch, I'll do some turning. And then all of a sudden this guy, he sort of disappeared, and I was left carrying the lathe, as it were.
Right, you rabble, are we almost ready for me to start? Natural edge bowls. These were just little ones by way of an idea of things that you can do. That was a little bit of end grain yew, which is quite pleasant, just to hollow it out, because the yew is all undulating, you get these different shapes. That was just out of a little piece of nub of firewood. This is a piece of cherry, which has been down about 4 months. I think the first thing to do is to actually take a bit of the weight off. As I get up towards the bar, I'll need to change the cut, because I don't want the full cut is quite likely to take the bark off if you're not careful. Come on, baby. If the lathe ends up in the audience in a minute, will you let me know, because I can...
It sure will.
And then when you came on with...
Yeah, I felt confident enough to have a go, because I think the idea was that you were saying, well, I'm doing it all the time, how about getting somebody else to have a go?
Right.
So, but everybody else is always very shy about standing up there.
See here, I'm starting to get to the edge of the bark on one side, but I'm way off on the other. So the decision now is, do I rotate it a bit more on the centre here to try and get it even, or do we go for a lopsided bowl? What do you reckon? Go for a lopsided bowl or try and get it more even?
It's very eccentric when it's weight, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, well, I'll try and get it a bit more central.
Fortunately, you and I don't mind making a fool of ourselves, but the first time I did a piece, if I remember right, I decided to turn a banana, which is one of the most obscure and weirdly difficult things to turn. And I managed to do it without actually breaking anything, my fingers or anybody else. But that was a bit silly in hindsight.
I've got a feeling somebody may have set the belt to a higher speed, I don't know. This has got less torque than my one at home, which has got a smaller motor, so... Is there a consensus that this looks like it might be on the wrong belt? So you've got to undo this plate, have you?
Yeah.
Well, that's on.
Yeah, but how far back can...
You can't go any more. That's in the right place, isn't it?
Yeah. Just tighten that down.
Slacken that off that way, somebody, yeah? Done that too tight. Off that way. There's a first for everything, isn't it? Safety first, put the top back on. Well, I've learned something, at least I know how to change the belt speed on this. Thank you for your help. Try again.
Well, we've done well, haven't we? Because over the time now, it's 2.5 years or is it 3 years?
Three years
since
last month, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've got about 45 47 people in the group now, and
it's more than that. On the group website, we've got 47,
yeah.
and we've still got another 5 or 6 to go onto that list.
All right.
Plus, we've got another 6 or 7 that's newcomers, and we had another one today.
There's all this wonderful theory about bowl proportions and how the bottom should be about 1/3 of the diameter of the bowl.
Yeah, it's quite sweet, isn't it, cherry? But we've got a whole range, haven't we? From
Yes.
like, there's one chap, literally, I gave him his first piece of wood, I think. He's just had his lathe delivered, and his instructions are he's got to make me something for 2 weeks' time.
Well, I've developed an interest in wood turning, and I found that when I looked at various programs on YouTube and everything, there was a lot of information that contradicted itself. So what I did was find an area that I could come and talk to people and share the experiences and try to find out the right way to do things.
But I wish people would use the forum a bit more, because it's a good place to share ideas and thoughts and things, and actually show each other what you've done. But people are still a bit shy about doing that, aren't they?
That's right.
The reverse chucking thing, I'm going to show you in a minute, the jam chuck is something I only made up the other week. I discovered I'd got an old wetsuit in the loft that my son had, so I've cut it up and used it to make some pads across the jam chuck. Quite effectively, I must admit.
This may or may not work, because I've only did a small one and a bigger one. It's the first time I've used this one. That may be the wrong size for this, but we'll find out. Right, the intention here is that the shape of this means it will sit in the base. Bit of paper is because it does tend to spin no matter what you do. Put that back in the centre. I think Craig did say he'd be up for some competition, so maybe we should choose 1 or 2 of those and try and get people to make a submission. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Now, do I take that down a bit more and just take it off by hand?
Hang.
You're no good at catching.
You know it makes sense, I think, is the answer, isn't it? There, not perfect. But we finished it without it actually exploding. Hand it round. Well, I think the only thing we haven't really sussed out is how to get paid for doing this, really, haven't we?
Well, I'm still waiting for the lovely makeup girl to come round, but they
What, every time you turn?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
you'd actually probably get some propositions. Anyway, we're probably going to not go down that route.
The actual individuals here are quite characters. I found it quite amusing in places how tactful they are in their approach to a newcomer. And they'll answer the questions and various things, often with a large smile on their face.